Perfect free throw shooting, along with late game execution, spoils out to be a clean sweep of the Bridge Builder Classic. We'll have both head coaches, Dante Jackson and Dawn Thornton, joining the show to give you all their analysis of the late game wins in Mobile. Coming up next on the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. Let's go, y'all.
Welcome to the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. Highlights, exclusive team interviews, and analysis with men's head coach, Dante Jackson, and women's head coach, Dawn Thornton. We're breaking down the games, reliving the big moments, and getting you geared up for the next big battle. And now, join us on our journey with our host, Chauncey Sanders.
And welcome to the latest edition of the Alabama A&M Basketball Review on our new home, SWAC TV, the first and only SWAC school with a production on SWAC TV. We'd like to welcome you all. And today we're here with our guest, of course, Dawn Thornton, our head coach, along with Memphis transfer and UABB transfer, hailing from Memphis, Tennessee, and Coretta Beck. Ladies, first of all, it's glad to have you all on, and thank you all for joining us. We know it's been a long trip from Mobile to Huntsville now to get back here on campus for the show. First of all, how are you guys feeling coming off of the bus at this point in time?
You know, I'm glad to be able to have an opportunity to sleep in my bed last night. So it was good for me. It was good for me.
Yeah, Coretta?
I'm just glad we got the dub.
I hear you on that, and I can't wait to get into it. You guys handled business down in Mobile, 50-41 against Alabama State, and it was a good one. I got to admit, you guys held it down defensively. Of course, we know that's what you guys pride yourselves on. Coach, we talked about that just last week, and in case you missed that, please go back to the latest episode prior to this. And what I really loved about the matchup was that you guys took care the most on what you can control, which was free throws. You guys were near perfect from the free throw line in that matchup. Earlier into the game, though, let's go back. What were your thoughts heading into Mobile in the Bridge Builder Classic?
You know, I think the biggest thing that we wanted to share with our team is understanding what a rivalry looks like. You know, in those moments, we knew that Alabama State was going to bring their best game. You know, they've been playing well in spurts, but I definitely thought that going into that game that they were going to bring their best effort. And, you know, I think that it was a testament to how the momentum shifted throughout the game. We kind of prepared them for that early on, I would think.
Definitely. And Coretta, you have familiarity in the SWAC opposed to some of your teammates. You have familiarity with Alabama State as well. So in this matchup, you know, what was your mindset heading into this now as a Bulldog against Alabama State?
Just ready to play. I feel like everybody play their best game against Dawn Thornton. So at the end of the day, we got to always stay humble. We got to go out there and play, and we got to sit down and play defense. All that leads to offense at the end of the day. So just have big energy for real and go out there and play every game. 17
bench points for your Bulldogs. 8 of those came from Coretta, by the way, who had a pretty nice game, if I'd say so. When the bench has the starters back like that, how encouraging is it moving forward for the team when you get into SWAC tournament play?
You know, I think that we did a really good job of recruiting this season. I can't really see a drop-off in our roster, in our lineup. Everybody will have their moments, and having a player like Coretta, as dynamic as she is, you know, she's capable of giving you 25 off of the bench. I mean, she's really a starter for us. Just kind of getting her back in the flow to where she can feel 100% healthy. But I think that anytime you have somebody with such a big impact like her coming off, you always have that flow and that spark coming off of the bench. And you need that at times down in the stretch when you have to make substitutions.
Definitely. And you're absolutely right. I think Coretta, along with several others for you that have came off the bench, have been starters and can play like starters. I mean, not just her, but Vanessa gives you great minutes. And the list goes on for you guys. And I think that's been something that's a huge difference between this year and last season, just from looking from afar. But I want to also get into this point in the game where it's 38-38. You have 3 minutes left in the game. A break comes up. What are you telling the team in that break as the winding minutes of the game are going as you're tired?
I honestly look at the clock and see possessions. I don't really see time because I know that we're a really solid defensive team. So really just having an opportunity to say, okay, it's 6 possessions and we have to own 3 of them defensively and being able to come down to find the flow of what we want to do offensively. Do we want to take a quick shot? Do we want to force them to turn the ball over? So I think it just kind of, for me, it's a feeling of what I have for them when I'm on the floor. If they're locked in enough for us to press, if we're like fidgety enough to where, we're trying to get going, getting downhill, a lot of things. But I think the biggest part is I just want to be able to take control of the game and be able to manage the time. That's something that I think real time as a head coach.
Definitely. And Coretta, I believe you have one of the more unique positions on the team as well in your role, because you can fill in many ways for this team. You're like a plug and play, if you ask me, where you may have to plug in the backcourt a little bit and help with ball handling. But I think what I really like that stands out about you is you can hold your own down low in the front court. You had 5 rebounds yesterday in the matchup, which were really huge. For that in your role, how do you feel coming into this season, filling that role?
I'm really just doing what I need to do to help my team for real. I feel like me getting rebounds and me being that big person to play defense really helped my game offensively. So I feel like that's one thing that gets me going is defense and getting rebounds. So that's a big thing for me, just being able to do what I need to do to help my team win, and all the other stuff gonna come.
Definitely. And with that, you guys take on another win, move to 4-1 in the SWAC. You're getting ready to go on the road, but I want to take a peel back because today is still a special day. Today marked the official holiday of Martin Luther King weekend, Martin Luther King Day, if you will. And we all know what MLK brings every single year. We've all learned the history and the leadership and passion, but I think what goes without saying sometimes is the backbone that stood behind him in Coretta Scott King. For you all, what does King mean to you? And then about Coretta Scott King, what do you think her legacy is as we move forward and celebrate the holiday here of MLK Day?
I think that's a great question. As you get older, you kind of understand history from a different lens, right? And growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, there were a lot of times where I was involved in situations where, you could see racism right there directly in front of you. And just kind of understanding the sacrifices that so many people have put before us. I don't know if for me, with my generation, where I am at 42 years old, if that's something that I would even, would I have been brave enough to stand up to do the things that a lot of our trailblazers has done, and I don't know that, but I'm thankful for that journey. Because of them, I am where I am. We do what we do because of them, and so I never take that moment for granted. I think we took the team to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. Back in December, so that was important. When I was at my previous school, we took our kids to the Civil Rights Museum in Montgomery. So just having an opportunity for them to see history, and they may not understand it now, but at least when they go back in 20 and 30 years from now, they'll be able to say, hey, well, my coach Jay at least took us here for us to see those certain type of things. And just knowing that Coretta, to me, just having a strong Black woman behind a strong Black man is something that we don't really see a lot of. And, who knows how hard it was for her and the stories that he came home and shared with her, and how she had to endure that pain as well. But however, I don't think that there will be no Martin without Coretta. Let's call a spade a spade. But she teaches us what it's like to be a strong, supportive Black woman to your man as well. And I think that that's important too.
She fought for 15 years, and that always stood out to me. 15 years to make sure that this became a holiday. And for someone to have to go through that, and I can't imagine what she had to endure during that time as well, to finally get this accomplished is huge. But also, Coretta, you're from Memphis. So, you're well-versed in the history of this day and what it means. Just growing up, give me a little background about the history there and what the holiday also means to you.
I'll just bounce back off what Coach T said, like the sacrifices and what they did to just make our life different in these days. I feel like we take a lot of stuff for granted, so the stuff that they did for us and how we can just be equally out here is a big thing for us.
Definitely. Guys, I want to turn a little bit into you two's relationship briefly, because you've been ride or die. I mean, you've been glued to the hip, Coretta. This is team number 2, school number 2, if you will, year 3 for you all together. For this last ride, Coach, with Coretta being next to you, how special has it been in her relationship?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. No, how special has it been, this ride for you, seeing her grow up like this?
That's the word. The whole time I was sitting here thinking, I was like, it's growth. Coretta came in really eager and wanting to play and wanting to have an opportunity to be on the court. I don't know a basketball player that is as passionate about the game as Coretta. She's, one of the best that I've ever had an opportunity to coaching, to be honest with you. I think when she kind of got in and really, when you're coming from a place where you don't play a lot and you're trying to get back into the flow of things, I felt like, she was going to be a big fish in a small pond. And she was able to do that. We knocked off Arkansas together. We've done a lot of great things, SMU together. We've done a lot of great things together. We made history together. But growth is the most important part that I'm most proud of about you. And I've shared that with her. We have setbacks. We have our moments. But to really see that she is taking it in, that's for coaches is what you want to be able to get. And I think that the more that she's been able to do that, the more that she's getting in the flow of what we're doing now. And like I was just telling her today, I'm ready for my Coretta to be back. I'm ready for Coretta to be Coretta. But I am proud of her, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and her trusting me with her career, because she could have left when we left Pine Bluff together. But I trust that, and I appreciate that. She knows that.
What does Coretta being Coretta look like to Coretta?
Confident, a lot of confidence, defensively, offensively, just being able to do what I know I can do, just being confident, honestly.
Definitely. And I'm looking forward to it. You guys have one final ride here. How special would it be to walk off as SWAC champions at the end of your career?
Very special. Very special.
That's the goal.
That's definitely the goal. Manifesting.
I hear you on that. And the goal will continue this upcoming Thursday. You guys take on Prairie View A&M. That's going to be a 6 p.m. tip-off here on SWAC TV. You can find the game. And that's going to do it for our women's side. When we come back from the break, the men will join us, Dante Jackson, and they will also talk about the win. And also we'll have more coming your way here on the Alabama A&M Basketball Review.
We are Alabama A&M University, a world-class institution where future leaders prepare to make their impact on the world. Here, education isn't just about learning, it's about leading, with nationally recognized programs in STEM, agriculture, business, and the arts. We are inspired by our rich heritage and bold future, carrying the spirit of the Hill with excellence. Alabama A&M University. Start here.
And welcome back to the Alabama A&M Basketball Review here on our new home, SWAC TV. Now we're turning to the men's team, coming fresh off of the dub in Mobile. You guys got it done, and boy, was it a good one, defeating Alabama State 73-69 with Dante Jackson, and now guard Sammy Pieces joining the show. Welcome. Coach, I mean, what an incredible game. You're fresh off the road right now. You guys still like you've been on the bus, a little jet lag there. What were your early thoughts about the game?
Man, first off, I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Matlock, man. He had his guys prepared, which I knew. I mean, you know, they coming off the NCAA tournament last year. Coaches did a tremendous job building that Alabama State program. So we knew we was going to be in the dogfight once we got to the game. So excited, that we got the win, but still so much more better we could have played. We had some plays that I wish we can have back, and maybe we could have had a different outcome. But listen, went back forth. Our guards came in, made plays to end the game, and man, hat off to our guys, man. They found a way to win. That's what it's about.
And Coach, you spoke about Coach Matlock, and hats off to him. His team has done an incredible job winning the SWAC last year. It was no easy feat defeating them, even in Mobile on a neutral site today. But I got to say, your relationship with him, it goes back years.
Yep.
So that familiarity, you could kind of tell it was a chess match all the way down to the wire between you two.
Listen, since he got in the league, man, he's been really great. Even from his time being the head coach at South Carolina State, I like watching basketball, so I try to watch everybody do their thing and kind of see what they do and what they don't do. And we didn't have some battles from back in my time at Grambling. Like we had some times we split a lot of times, but I knew coming into the game, like he was gonna have some different wrinkles. He threw some different things out there from the zone to man to zone, and some different things that we had to figure out. So I knew it was gonna be some different wrinkles, but at the end of the day, I think we try to prepare for everything, and our guys, executed.
Definitely. And I want to talk about that execution because the guy that you're sitting alongside was part of that execution down the stretch. I mean, absolute hats off to you, Sammy.
I appreciate that.
Huge game from you, 22 points, 10 for 11 from the free throw line. I mean, that was huge down the stretch. I don't think you really even saw the free throw line earlier prior to this in the SWAC plays so far.
Nah, that was my third game in the SWAC. I missed the first two due to injury, but I was 0 for 0. I was 0 for 0. So I just try to stay aggressive. Just try to go downhill and just play off two. If I get fouled, I get fouled. But, you just got to step up to the free throw line and just knock these down after.
Definitely.
And I tell you, man, he had some big shots he knocked down. And you talking about those free throws down the stretch, man, some of those free throws kept us, broke some runs that Alabama State was on. So he got to the line, broke some runs when they was making a run. But then more importantly, get the and one and, to finish it clutch. But I had to joke with him the first time. We was in practice talking about, man, Coach, I ain't got to the free throw line, man. And I was like, man, you got to stay aggressive, man, play off too. So we just talking or whatever. His first free throw he missed, I looked at him like, now you want to get to the free throw line. But, he went 10 for 10 after that. So, we'll let that. We'll let that first one
slide.
go. We'll let that one slide.
It was a warm-up.
He decided to say that in the timeout. If you look at the film, I shot that first free throw. It was short, and I just looked at the rim like this. I'm like, man, come on.
Yeah, it's that first shot you get in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's just the first one. That was just a warm-up.
For sure.
But I want to pivot because it seemed like Alabama State was warming up early in that game, right? They went on a bit of a run, but then you guys answered back really quick. You end the half leading by 1, 33-32. At that break, what are you thinking moving forward into the second half?
I knew going into that second half that it was going to be a game of runs. When you in a environment where it's rivalry, we didn't play in Montgomery, so it's probably not as many people there. Right. But we did play closer to Montgomery than Huntsville. So, closer, than Huntsville and whatnot. So I knew coming out of that second half, we had to be ready. Like, we had to make sure that we were blazing. And we talked about just the offensive rebounds that we were giving up because I just felt like we were giving up too many offensive rebounds. But partly that's because we do some switching. And then now we might get a 6'9" on a 6-foot guy, and it's kind of a tougher box out. But at the end of the day, I just, when we needed to stop, at the end of the game, we got to stop and we made the play. So, some stuff we still got to clean up to keep working on. But at the end of the day, we'll take it. Definitely. You guys were 42% from the field, 80% from the free throw line. We're going to keep our eyes and bookmark that free throw line percentage there for a moment. I want to really get into the trenches with you all here. It's 69-65, a minute 39 remaining in the ball game. It's a timeout break. What are you telling these guys here on the floor? And Sammy, what's going through your mind in that moment with 139 remaining in the ball game?
Well, I'll say this first. Big shout out to Gabe Kinsey because he just pulled us all together and was like, hey, like, y'all go do what y'all do, but we're in the bonus, so y'all stay aggressive. Like, just go do what y'all do. We've been here before, and we just got to do it again. And we just try not to panic. Like I said, we've been in these situations before. And we're ball players, man. We just got to go make plays.
Go make plays. And that was the thing, we come out of that intentional foul or my fault, flagrant one foul. Right. They make one free throw. They get the ball back, hit a 3. You go down 4, and you looking like, man. But then you come to the side. We come to the sideline like I told them. We've been here before. It is what it is. We're going to get to one of our actions we like to run at the end of the game. So we're going to keep 2 of our better playmakers at the top so they can make plays and space the floor out, and that's what happened. The first play, Contavious made the half spin off a guy for a layup. The next play, he come off half spin off a guy for an and one layup. So it's like, hey, you got to get to the end of the game, get to your stuff, and trust what you do.
And your starting lineup shares a lot of experience. Yep. And that definitely has to play a role down the stretch in a moment like that for sure, where with younger players, it may get tight. They may get really tight, or they may try to do more than what they truly needed to do down the stretch there.
Yeah, and I just think it's with these guys, with him and Contavious, being in the backcourt, PJ Eason, being in the front court, you're talking about guys who got hundreds of games of playing, 150 games of playing college basketball, at a certain level. And, for him, junior college, high-level basketball, he played at NJCAA tournament. They playing a high level of basketball where every possession matters. So when you getting guys out there that's competing at a high level, it just translates, and then it comes even in practice. We have days where we got to put him versus Dozier so it could translate in practice because now this is what you're going to see in the game. You're going to see somebody that look just like you. Right. So y'all got to compete against each other and then go make each other better. So when we go in the game, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. I love it. And you guys take care of business. Get it done, 73-69. Now we move on to head over to Texas. And we know with Prairie View and Texas Southern, really 2 well-coached teams. high caliber SWAC tournaments over and over in appearances.
Man, you got Coach Jones, you got Coach Smith over there, two incredible coaches. You know, I used to tell people all the time when I was at Grambling that, you know, in order to win the league, you gotta go through Texas. You know, because just those two teams at one point had maybe 5 straight NCAA tournament appearances, and they all was Prairie View or Texas Southern, Prairie View, Texas Southern. So it's like, you know, those teams are going to be well coached, well disciplined, and they're going to compete at a high level. We got to go out there and kind of just match intensity. You know, I know Coach Smith is going to have his guys ready. Coach Jones is going to have his guys ready. You know, my goal is for us to have 2 great days of practice. Then we get out to Texas, have a great day of practice, and be ready to go.
Definitely. Sammy, your expectations so far? I know you're relatively new to the conference, and we're going to get into a little bit of that because you've had an incredible long basketball career thus far, and it's sure to continue forward. But what's your early expectations? What have you heard from Coach or some of your teammates like Kentavious, who I see you guys have a lot of back and forth camaraderie between each other throughout each game, about Texas Southern and Prairie View?
I mean, they're just 2 good teams. They're gonna be ready for us. They're gonna be ready physically. We just got to go match that, like Coach said. It's just Prairie View is really good. They just lost 2 in a row, I think. So they're gonna be ready to bounce back. And we just won 2 in a row, so we just trying to keep that going and keep that winning streak going. And we just knew, like, this conference is every night is gonna be a battle, regardless of the team you play, where you play, if you're at home, away, neutral site, like yesterday. It's gonna be a battle. Like it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 possessions at the end of the game. So we just gotta sustain 40 minutes and just try to come out with a win. We're all about finding a way to win. So
Definitely. So, fellas, I want to take a page back, though. Before we get more into moving forward with that matchup, I want to go back a little bit because you guys played on MLK Day,
Yep.
which is a huge holiday. I think one of the better holiday traditions, unlike any other in sports, playing ball on MLK Day, everyone with a common goal, which is to win, whatever color you look like, whatever your background is, wherever you come from. For both of you all, what does it mean to play on MLK Day? And truly, what does King mean to you all as far as history is concerned?
Well, my birthday is January 19th, so I've had plenty
You beat me to the punch. Happy
MLKs.
belated.
Yeah, I
Yes,
appreciate it.
sir.
I had plenty MLKs throughout my life, but I mean, I think it just means everything, you know, for everything that he stood for, just for mankind. I just won't even say black culture, just for mankind, you know, just what he stands for, what he meant to our culture as black people, you know, is one of the best leaders that I've ever, you know, encountered in my lifetime. So, you know, I'd have been through Memphis to see where he was shot at. I'd have been to Morehouse. I'd have been to the church he had in Atlanta. I'd have been all over, man. Just, you know, walked the bridge in Selma. And that's all really because of, you know, just what Martin Luther King meant to us as a culture.
Definitely. Sammy, you being from France and then coming to America and having a bit of a culture upbringing here, what does he mean to you from that perspective as well?
well, I'll start off by saying this: like, even being from overseas, like, you already know who he is and what he's done for the community. I went to Atlanta and spent some time over there in high school and stuff like that, and he's pretty big over there. I played in, that was my second classic on MLK Day.
Wow.
My last one was in high school, and they had a huge presentation. Like, it was really, like, great to be a part of. But man, everything he stood for is just, it just mean a lot to everybody, you know. And then happy birthday to Coach again. You know, we couldn't let him.
That's right. That's right. Couldn't let him have an L on his birthday. No.
Nah.
They wouldn't have wanted to come to practice on Wednesday. No, that's
Coach, I appreciate you guys. And before we get out of here, I want to ask you about your relationship between you two. Sammy, you were in New Hampshire previously. When you get a call from Coach, what went through your mind, and why A&M? Why Coach Jackson and this team?
Coach Jack really saved my career. Like, I don't think he even knows it, but I don't know how many players averaged 16 points and up last year, and didn't really have anywhere to go. That's kind of what happened to me until this man called. So he just told me everything not everything I wanted to hear, but everything I needed to hear. It was just like, hey man, You come in here, do what I need you to do. The rest just gonna be the rest, man. It's just I was always looking for a place where I can come and be myself. And like what really spoke to me is when I came here, like maybe like a month after being here, he told everybody in practice, like in front of everybody, he said, "Hey, I'm not trying to change your game. Like whatever works for you is what I need you to do." And like I've never really heard that from anybody that's coached me, you know. So that just makes me want to play harder. And I don't know, man. It's just loss of words, kind of, because I've been through a lot of ups and downs with coaches and programs. Like I've been to 4 schools in 4 years, not by choice. But man, if I could do it all again, like I'll do it all over.
I hear you on that. Yeah, I seen when we had a chance, man. We was recruiting them. And, you know, we was kind of going to the 9th hour, had another kid to take, going back and forth. And I was like, listen, man, we going to go in on him. Because I knew what he brought to the table. And like I told him, I said, listen, man, you know, you going places, you know, you're scoring, you're point guard, you're trying to figure it out. But I said, man, I just really need you to be a glue guy for us. I need you to be an extension of the coach, bro. I need you to be a person who can help direct traffic, you know, do the things that you need to do on the court. You got a high basketball IQ. I just need you to be our glue guy. I just need you to find a way to keep everything together. And if you do what you're supposed to do, man, it'll all work itself out. And, you know, Coach Prather did a phenomenal job recruiting him a couple of years. And, you know, he got injured at the tournament back in NJCAA. We ain't get a chance.
Let's talk about that. I really supposed to go to Grambling.
He was, you know, didn't work out, but ended up going to New Hampshire. But at the end of the day, man, I'm happy he here. You know, it's definitely a blessing for our program, man. He does a great job of setting the table for everybody else, and you know, I got to do a good job of making sure he get his plate too, because he makes sure he's serving everybody else. We got to make sure he getting some too. Yeah,
I hear you on that. Too. I'm glad it all worked out for the both of you all. Seriously, I'm finally getting this opportunity to coach him and play with him after all these years, and I'm excited to see what it does moving forward for both of you all. Seriously, definitely. And last but not least, go to dessert. I mean, it was your birthday yesterday, Coach. You're on the road. I'm not sure what they had to offer at the hotel, but are you a dessert guy? Are you a cheesecake guy?
Yeah, man,
I'm carrot cake.
Man, listen, man, I like my chocolate cake or whatever, but I had to settle for a Chick-fil-A cookie.
a win in the Chick-fil-A cookie.
A win in the
Chick-fil-A cookie. Doesn't get any better than that on the road. That's going to do it for the Alabama A&M basketball review for head coach Dante Jackson, special guest Sammy Pieces. Thanks for joining the show, and our incredible staff. We'd like to say thank you all for watching here on Swag TV, and for more on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. And also leave us a question for next week and moving forward. We're going to have questions coming from you all watching the show. You may just find yourself on air asking the question, or one of our coaches and players answering the question. So for more on that, please find our socials and our athletics website. But for now, we say thank you all, and thanks for watching. And of course, go Bulldogs.
Thank you for watching the Alabama A&M Basketball Review with head coaches Dante Jackson and Don Thornton. Your support is important to us and the outstanding students here on the Hill. We encourage you to support the entire athletic program and become a season ticket holder, or be a part of something much bigger and become a torchbearer. Visit AAMU.edu for more information. And until next time, go Bulldogs!